Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Katrina. I'm a fourth year social work student at Ryerson University, and I'm currently completing my placement practicum with the Organization for a Safer Space. And today we'll be talking about decatastrophizing. So what is decatastrophizing? To first understand the skill, we have to understand the root. This skill is particularly useful for folks experiencing anxiety and is grounded by cognitive behavioral therapy, which is also known as CBT. When we begin to think about anxiety, one of the key characteristics is catastrophic thinking. So catastrophic thinking is a way of thinking that magnifies the issue or problem at hand. That also leads to worst case scenario thinking or thoughts. When it comes to decatastrophic thinking, it is about reconstructing one's thoughts that challenges the catastrophic thinking. So there are a couple different methods that you can use. The first one that I'll be talking about is using a decatastrophizing worksheet. So I've typed it out here, but at the bottom where it says resource, it's also a link to a free blank worksheet that you can print out or make on your own, but we'll talk about it a little bit briefly right now. So there's 3 columns or 3 sections. The first section is identify what it is that you're worried about. So what is the catastrophe? And I did put a couple prompts that you could use. So I am worried about, and write down what your worry is. I fear that blank will happen. And again, in that blank, you want to write whatever the catastrophe that you fear is going to happen. So make sure that while you're doing this section, don't use what if statements. If you begin to find that you're beginning to write, what if this happens, flip it around. I am worried that this is going to happen. Now, the next section is identify how likely your worry is to occur. You want to provide evidence and examples to support your answer, whether it's through past experiences or what you've observed, but make sure that you're providing proof to back up what you're feeling. If your worry occurs, what's the worst case scenario? And if your worry occurs, what's the most likely scenario? Sometimes, and most of the times, what the worst case scenario is not what's most likely to happen. So it's really good with this section here. You're writing down what you think is the worst thing that could possibly happen if your worry comes true, but then you want to go back and think, how likely is this going to happen and what's the more likely scenario? And lastly, the last category is reassurance. So if my worry does occur, what positive or reassuring thing would I like to hear? Write a couple statements down, phrases, whatever you would like to remind yourself. And if my worry does occur, what are the chances of me being okay? You can do this out of 10 or out of a percentage from 1 to 100%. Now, the next method you could use is a what if bias worksheet. Again, I've typed it out here, but if you want a blank copy where it says resource, I've left a link there for you to go to. You can print it out or write your own on a blank piece of paper. So there's 2 columns here. The first one is the what if it's negative. So list all the negative things that come with your worry. For example, what if I have a panic attack on stage? So that's your worry. Now talk about what would happen. This would happen, that would happen. I would feel like this, and list out anything that's associated with the negative thing that you're worried about. The next column is what if it's positive. So here you want to list out all the positive things that could occur if your worry didn't happen. So for example, what if I have the best performance of my life? And again, go from there, continue to list out how you would think, how you would feel, what you think would happen. So here are a couple tips. Utilize a worksheet. There are many free resources, or make your own from the prompts from the previous slides. So I gave 2 and I left a link there, but in the next slide, I do have more links or resources that you guys can check out, that you can print out worksheets so you can write them down, and you can always make your own if you don't want to print it out or anything like that as well. You want to make sure that you're maintaining perspective. So think about, how will I feel after a week or a month or a year? How okay will I be in those time frames? And lastly, you want to be able to identify catastrophic thinking, and you could even use the cognitive emotion regulation questionnaire. This will be a good indicator if you're having trouble differentiating whether what you're thinking is catastrophic or not. Now, additional worksheets are here. There are 3 different sections when it comes to decatastrophizing. There's the cognitive restructuring, and I've left a link here to a cognitive restructuring worksheet. There are visualization techniques. So there's the if-then planning worksheet and the event visualization worksheet. And lastly, there's mindfulness. So mindfulness, there is the wheel of awareness. It also comes with meditation, breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation. Some of these are videos that we've done in previous series here, so make sure to check those out as well. But here are some extra resources for you guys. All right, and thank you all for listening. For free downloadable and printable worksheets, I've left another link here. Mindshift is another really great resource. It's free on the Google Play Store or the App Store on the iPhone users. This is a great tool for managing anxiety that is science-based. So it's an app on your phone or tablet, whatever you're using, that can help you navigate or give you some great resources since we are talking about anxiety today. All right, and thank you all for listening. Bye.